Listen to Mr. Lucario right now. I like to get right into it, even though there's nobody on yet. But y'all will tap in. Let's go. Based on me just saying that to you. Also, topic: why this is the worst thing that can ruin a relationship before it even starts. What is that? When you like do too much exposing who you are on the phone through text, and so you can do that even in person. Talk too much, talk yourself out of. And so this is a situation that Mr. Lucario is about to break down. That when you talk to a woman too much before a date, why it's better to save it for the date versus talking to her on the phone. So let's just listen. Conversation over the phone. But if I said, hey, come through on Friday, I have an event, then you come through and you say, damn, these pies smell good as shit. Right? So now because you're there and you're able to smell the pie, even though you're not a big pie fan, you might want a slice of the pie. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference between talking to a woman on the phone versus interacting with her and talking to her and flirting with her in person. So when you're in person, she gets a better taste of you, which is why you save it for in person. Because when you're talking on the phone or texting, all she has to go with is what you're saying on the phone or what you're texting her. So then she judges you strictly on that. So let's say even, for example, you texted her something that was like a joke, right? Even the fact that you texting her the joke, right? It would have been better for you to meet her in person and say the joke because they hear the tone, the vibe of the joke or whatever. But if she read the joke, she probably read it in a way where in her mind, she's like, this is offensive. What is he talking about? You see what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. So hey, it's problematic. That's factual. Because if you ever notice when you text a woman, yeah, we could text a woman, yeah, but it's nothing like in person. Nothing is like human interaction, one-on-one. Even if you're trying to make a sale, yeah, I can do it on the phone call. That could be possible, definitely. But what about when they see me face to face? They see, oh, Jalen, like he got this deep, beautiful voice, but he also looks like this. He dresses like this. His tone of voice, it matches his body language, his eye contact, the way he respects you, the way he shaked your hand. Like all that matters. They can't get that on the phone or text. So anything you say through text doesn't hit like in person. That's why in person, when you walk up to a girl in person, nothing is like that. That's why we have to do that. Let's be real. That's why we have to walk up to women and approach because the DM is not like that. Text, that's the same thing as text. So none of that is like that. So even when you go on a date with a woman, you got her through a dating app. Once you meet her in person, that's when the game that's when the game begins because in person is just different. She gonna feel every part of your vibe. She gonna know who you truly are. You can't fake that shit through text. Not at all. Like if you try to fake like like you try to act like and be this person who you truly say you are through text message, it does not hit like in person ever. Let's be real. So I don't want to hear nobody saying, "Yeah, you should text a girl. You should talk to a girl," because like Mr. Lucario said, "Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back." Even for example, you might want a slice of the pie, and you can, it's like a tasting party or some shit, right? And you might say, in your mind, you're thinking, I'm not really a big fan of pies, right? But so you might not come based on me just saying that to you in the conversation over the phone. But if I said, hey, come through on Friday, I have an event, and then you come through and you say, damn, these pies smell good as shit, right? So now because you're there and you're able to smell the pie, even though you're not a big pie fan, you might want a slice of the pie. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference between talking to a woman on the phone versus interacting with her, talking to her, flirting with her in person. So you heard what he said. When it comes to tasting pie, somebody can tell you like this shit is so good. You might be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like that's how I am too. Like somebody might say like, oh yeah, well, what you doing? And then you like, what you doing? And they like, oh, I'm making these pies. Man, they smell so good. They so blah 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 blah. Whatever they say, you gonna be like, oh, okay, that sounds good. But in person, if they would like just come over and then you open up the door, you're like, what's that smell? Damn, it smell good. Well, that's gonna mean that you actually got the experience. So now though nothing hits like when you get the experience. So you experience smelling the pie versus actually having them tell you the pie smells good. It's a huge difference. That's why talking on the phone with the woman versus seeing her in person is 10 times different. That's why I prefer it. Let's just see each other in person. Let's save the best for in person, because when we get in person, that's true authenticity right there. You can't fake that. Let's be real. So let's listen. In person, she gets a better taste of you, which is why you save it for in person. Because when you're talking on the phone or texting, all she has to go with is what you're phone or what you're texting her. So then she judges you strictly on that. So let's say, even for example, you texted her something that was like a joke, right? Even the fact that you texted her the joke, right? It would have been better for you to meet her in person and say the joke, because now she can hear the tone, the vibe of the joke or whatever. But if she read the joke, she probably read it in a way where in her mind, she'll take it offensive. Yeah, like she'll be like some women that could take things offensive through messages all the time. I don't know how many times you had a woman that you would say something and she take it way left field, and you just like, that's not even what. And then now you gotta try to re-explain yourself, and it's like, I'm not doing all. I'm first of all, we not about to just re-explain ourselves and just go at like, no, this is what I meant. I meant to. Da, 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 da. It's like, you ever observe it and go in a third person view? Say, how would that look if somebody read my message out loud? That would sound like you got to really say that, and I have to say that to myself. Like, how would it look if if somebody read my message out loud? Do you want to feel like, because if they read it out loud to you, and it was some cringy, childish stuff, that would hit you instantly in the chest. You say, shit, hold on, hold on. Like it wouldn't feel right, because you fucked up. But if you said something, great, you stood on which who you are, that's your message. But so watch what you say through messages. Say, I'm taking this advice. Why? Because if somebody read it out loud and you don't like how it sounds, that means you fucked up. So I personally gotta watch that too, because man, there's some messages that you like, yeah, I wouldn't want that person reading that out loud. So that's why it's better to say that for in person. You can't, let's say, try to record you, but obviously that's not gonna be the case. She's like, this is offensive. What is he talking about? You see what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. So it's problematic. Exactly. Problematic, right? So this is what I'm saying. Save it for when you meet the woman. You see what I'm saying? No, call her. Do you. Be you. Talk all you want to talk. Give her all your attention on the phone. You ain't gotta wait till the date, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. I didn't get. I see what you're saying now, because now if you're giving out too many details, now it's too many things. Remember, so on that she can just say no. Remember this. Rather than you just brush her. Remember this. A woman is looking for a reason to not show up. Exactly. That's a fact. I was about to say that. Ooh, wow. You heard what they said. A woman is looking for a reason not to show up to a date. So by running our mouth, we talking ourselves out of it. You talk yourself out of the situation by having too much conversation. And women, they'll be like, no, let's keep texting until then. Why can't we just talk until blah blah blah? Like, there's actually one girl I'm talking to. I'm about to two first dates. One is saying like, let's text, and I ain't gonna lie, texted her a little bit too much, and I'm pulling back. So I'm saying like, let's make sure we wait till the date. And then the other one is just like, I told her, I even kind of reminisce. I look at the Bumble message and I just said like, hey, blah blah blah. Here's, my number. I want to go on have a specific link up activity with her. She just straight up texted me. She didn't even hit me on the app. I almost forgot, like, who was hitting me up? So she was so cooperative with like the date. That's why we're going on a date, because she just went right with it. She don't want to talk, like I can tell. And so we just set up the plans. But the other girl on the hand wants to kind of keep talking to me, and that's how she's trying to get me trying to figure you out before the date. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, by me being horny last night, that shit led me into actually texting a little bit too much. So let's listen to what he got to say. That's how, it's crazy. That's how women operate. See, this is what you gotta understand. Women in their mind, okay, this is gonna blow you guys' mind. Follow what the fuck I'm saying. Listen. Right. When a woman meets
fantasy of the man she wants. You understand what I'm saying? So now what happens is that if she has high interest in you, she's already put you in that category. So now what happens is that when you text her or talk to her on the phone during the week before the date, that fantasy that she has dissipates. So therefore, oh, he can't be that guy because he said this and he did that, and I don't like that. And I feel
See, like these niggas be preaching. Like, okay, so what he just said and how I interpret it. When a woman is having a fantasy of you, she's like, man, say this, like we use Chris Brown. Like, oh my God, like I love Chris Brown. So cause she never gets to talk to him. She never gets to text him. She kind of has no communication with him. So if he starts texting her too much, that's us. We're the celebrity in the situation. She started texting you. We start texting her too much. Guess what happens? Her fantasy of us, who she thought us to be by talking to her too much, it dissipates. That's what Mr. Lucario just said. Let's listen again. Listen again. That makes sense.
That is that if she has high interest in you, she's already put you in that category. So now what happens is that when you text her or talk to her on the phone during the week before the date, that fantasy that she has dissipates. So therefore, oh, he can't be that guy because he said this and he did that, and I don't like that. And
Easily.
So now it's easier for her to get to just call it off. And what happens is that women, when they first meet you, right? This is the time where it's easiest for them to fall back.
Thank you. Easiest time for them to cut you off is right when they meet you. So they're waiting. Sometimes they bait you to try to keep talking and stuff so that they can cut your ass right off. And that's what he just said. Easiest time for
right.
Look.
This is the time where it's easiest for them to fall back. Because what happens is that there hasn't been enough investment and attachment on her part for her to give a shit. So if a woman is highly interested in you, when you first meet her and talk to her, what you want to do is you want to maintain that interest. So how do you maintain that interest? You shut the fuck up. And then you just meet her when you meet her. So that...
Honestly, that's the most realest shit ever. And sometimes you, like I said, your ego side wants to talk to her, wants to be all like, doing too much. And then knowing damn well we're not supposed to be doing all that. And we know that's going to dissipate who we are as a man. So the best thing we're supposed to do is zip it, go on the date, have a great date, make some memories, live our life. So I'm not going to, let me try to change the filter. I want to see oh yeah, pop. Yeah, that's good. I like that. So make sure you're not just constantly going back and forth with a woman, because this is going to mess up your chances with having her see you who she truly sees you to be. And at the same time, look, you can still do this, and it doesn't mean that it's gonna go your way. A lot of times you can do everything right too, and shoot, she still ain't gonna want you. That's how life is. So keep listening. Let's go.
When you meet her, she's going based on when she first met you that first time or talked to you that first time to set up the date. See, a lot of you guys, this is the thing. Unless you guys have, because I know, Steve, he talks about he likes to marinate the pussy. But that's because Steve likes that type of shit. And I think Zagan also talks about that too. And they know how to actually talk to women in a way to create that sexual tension before, they meet up with whatever it is like that. Right? But most of you guys can't fucking do that. Let's be honest. So it's better to just shut the fuck up. Now, what happens is that the easiest way to do this is set the date, confirm on the day of the date, and then see her on the date. Because what happens is when you see her on the date, that those feelings that she had the first time and she sees you on that date and y'all are interacting, what happens is most likely, not all the time, most likely is going to continue based on that.
Exactly.
Versus if you're texting her during the week and doing all that other extra shit, that gives her more to pick at.
Exactly.
And I'll add something to it. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much anyway, because that's how you start is how you finish.
Right.
Ooh.
I don't want a chick thinking that I'm one of these on the phone all the fucking time type niggas.
Oh,
right.
That's
I don't
true.
got time for that shit. I speak to you when it's necessary for me to speak to you.
Exactly.
And I want you to know that from the beginning. Get used to that. We set up the date. Today's Sunday. I ain't seeing you till Friday.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Because if you start texting her, she's gonna text you back. Then she's gonna think it's okay to keep texting you. Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing?
Oh my. Let's be real. Have you went through that? Like, especially in high school, and then college. As soon as you text a girl, you keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So then by the time the date comes, do y'all have much to talk about? No. Like, this stuff is common sense, but I had to. It's a program that is stuck in you. This program of, oh, I gotta keep on talking to a woman before. Yeah, we can be excited. You can talk to the girl. Yeah, the dudes that like to flirt and talk to the women, do what you do, please. But we just know that at the end of the day, women love that in person. Like, they don't know that they love in person more than on the phone, but they like to talk on the phone too. They like to text. I don't blame them, but for their own good and for our own good, we have to make sure we don't text them all day. It's for the best of us. Otherwise, you are fucked. Anytime we end up messing up the whole situation. It's like the same thing, same different, same story every time since high school. And it's like they're more older now, so they're more wiser. So they're used to dudes texting all the time. They're used to dudes doing the same thing. That's how it goes. Shout out to Mr. Lucario, because this live is actually true. Like, it was going in.
Right now, and blah, 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 and all this. Now you're going through a text every fucking day with this woman.
It is not okay for you to text me every day.
Yo, I've had women call my phone. Like, I see their fucking... I'm like, is this bitch really calling me?
That's true.
Like, I know she ain't calling me right now. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying?
I can't have a woman thinking that it's fucking okay. I can't.
Right.
That's true. So, more of the story, how you start is how you finish. And I'm ending it just like that.